Hi, Eating for Meaning followers. This is Dr. Millie. Thanks so much for tuning in. This week is the week of just after Easter and the end of Passover. So it started on April 17th all the way to the following Saturday. I have a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm a day late and I was traveling yesterday, but I hope you've had a wonderful week. Nice to be back. We're going to use the Wisdom of the Oracle deck for the mind by Colette Baron Reed. We are going to use the Stephen D. Farmer Earth Magic cards for the body. We are going to use the Doreen Birch. No, I'll do that last. We're going to use the Tori Hartman chakra cards for the emotions. We're going to try that again. And we are going to use the Daily Guidance, Doreen Virtue. Has everybody seen Doreen Virtue's new, that she's updated her Ascended Masters, and also she's been talking a lot about Jesus. So anybody who's following Doreen Virtue, I think she's taking an interesting turn. So just wanted to mention that. So how to be healthy this week. How to be healthy in your mind. This card. Thinker. Okay. So introspective. We're thinking this week. We're planning. We don't want to overthink, but we do want to allow ourselves to for our thoughts to come together. And so maybe we're feeling scattered, or maybe we're feeling a little bit exhausted, or maybe we did go on a bit of a vision quest, and things have kind of been brought back into the body a little bit more. And so we want to put a plan in place. We want to plant a seed as to what we're going to do. It's new. This is a new time. It's we're at the end of the Aries. We're moving into Taurus. We're moving into the body and into Earth, and kind of I guess we've got to put our thoughts in place in order to get there. So that's what that tells me. Last week I did read the card. It's number 44. And so I think I will do that again this week. How to be healthy this week. That's what I focus on. Strategy, being analytical, logical. So the ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct. For this moment, there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple, and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. Okay, woohoo. That's nice. So it really takes logic, and so often I feel like in the healing arts where we try to help people get out of their heads and out of their minds, and I'm even kind of like stuck in my mind thinking about that card, because it so often goes against it. And oftentimes if I pull that card, I get it upside down. So I'm being told personally myself to not think so much and not strategize so much. You're overthinking. But now it's very clearly that the karma card did just pop up in the body, but I put it back in. But now it's very clearly that we're going to just think our way through this week and strategize and be logical and take things at face value. Very interesting. Don't read into things. Okay, this one. Island. Oh, so the body. The body wants to be, have quiet and be on your own little island and be in your own little bubble. And so kind of isolated. It's alone, but it's not lonely. It's the same kind of continuation of the message from last week. It's time to plan and time to strategize, and you don't want other people's loud business or competitive voice, raining on your energy. You're trying to build something, you're trying to produce something, you're trying to create something, and it's something that you don't need any distraction from, and you want to honor that you need some time, just like that beautiful redbud tree that looks like in the picture. The redbuds are out right now. They're so beautiful. I've been to in New York, they're here, and in Pennsylvania, and maybe if you're in the south further, then maybe they've already been, but they're just such a beautiful shock of magenta, kind of grape color. They're so beautiful. So I'm going to look up island. The solitary tree on this island, surrounded by the grassy sea, can evoke different feelings depending on one's perceptions and beliefs. The tree, which is in full blossom, stands out amid the relative starkness and is illuminated by a beam of light emerging from the otherwise dark sky. It's an elegant reminder of how even in what might appear to be relatively barren circumstances, there is still beauty and growth. Although an island like this can be a metaphor for isolation and desolation, the thriving tree proves that even in the harshest of environments there is life. We can see the tree's spider-like roots spreading out along the rocks, seeking nourishment from the moist soil. The sense of peace and solitude depicted in this image provides nourishment for the soul. So take some time for solitude, preferably in silence. Spend the morning, afternoon, or even the entire day by yourself, completely unplanned and unstructured. The bombardment of your senses by the noise and intensity of society leaves you on alert far more than is necessary. And the vibration, I think this is very true right now, the vibration of millions of people's worry and fear throughout the world can impinge upon you and greatly affect you if you do not honor and need to pull back from time to time. Okay? So this week is solitude, so that you can think, so that you can create, so that you can be nourished. I'm actually finding that I'm living so much in the present, like really so much just moment to moment. Actually, the abundance card just flipped out. That's great. That's another yellow. So again, solar plexus last week was a yellow card as well. And so this is about dropping pennies down the grate and they collect in a coffer, in a chest, treasure chest. So by putting away, or even if you feel like you have losses, you can have gain. And one person's loss, foolish loss, he's there drinking at the bar and worrying, is her gain. She's dowsing, she's finding the treasure. So see abundance this week. Don't focus on loss. If this is tax week, if you're paying taxes, we can choose where to focus, right? Obviously, glass half empty, glass half full. Be realistic about what you're looking at, because there's nothing deceiving or nuanced this week. But at the same time, feel positive. This is the emotional card. I'm going to shuffle again though and draw another one. Growth. So green, heart chakra. Obviously, these vegetables are growing inside. They actually looks like it's growing inside a school or growing inside a hospital. You can't stop growth. If you are on your way towards, if you've already done the work, then it's coming. The abundance is coming, the expansion is coming. can live really in the present because it's already happening. You don't need to force anything. It's growth. You know, growth is very untethered. Growth can be very unruly, especially at this time of year. You can't stop things from popping up through the ground, peeking up, growing. And when you're on a journey towards enlightenment, or when you're on a journey towards health, you know, it's like people can't help but lose weight when they start to clean up their diet. You don't have to focus on losing weight anymore. Or when you start to clean up your diet or start to do health promoting activities, you know, take your vitamins, take your supplements, do self-care, self-love, get outside. You can't help but grow and experience. When you shine light on other people and you love other people more, you can't stop the love coming back at you. It just happens. So it's not like you do things to achieve the result. It's actually we're just doing things, whether we're doing things because it makes us feel good, or because we're doing things because we want to challenge ourselves, or because we're doing something because it's our passion to do it, it's our calling to do it. And if you're in the twin flame community, or then it's certainly about giving out, or at least the feminine, about giving out without any expectation of return. And so unruly growth, you put a plan in place, you quiet yourself away from all the fear and all the activity and everybody trying to steal everybody's thunder or be the best. You look at things like half full, you look at things as if they're half full, as if there's abundance, there's enough for you. You're a lucky individual, a fortunate. And growth happens. This is how we feel. We feel like we can't stop. We can't stop it. And so it's like unexpected benefits. How great is that? That's awesome. That's what we want. That's what you like. I mean, sometimes people can't plan for it. You could have so many resources and put into it to something and it still never sprout, right? And that's the emotional card. So this week's a lot about perspective, actually. A lot. You always have the choice of looking at things as if they're bad, or looking things as if they're good. You can have $5 in the bank and know that more is coming, know that it's coming. You don't have to focus on the $5 and everything you don't have, or everything you can't have. You can focus on what's coming to you, and that you can do it even with $5, and that it's going to come, and you might not know where it's going to come from, but it's coming. Or my autoimmune disease patients, I'm starting to really counsel people on the connectedness between tingling and new senses that they're experiencing, that they're able to harness, new powers, superpowers, being clairvoyant, being clairsentient. I mean, if you're experiencing numbness and tingling, I'm not saying ignore a condition if you've been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. I mean, I treat people fully, completely. But what I can say is that not harping on the physical symptoms, not staying stuck in the physical symptoms, but actually looking at the physical symptoms as what's behind door number 3? Like, what does this mean for me? Does this mean that I can sense something? I'm so sensitive, I can do something, energy work. That's what happened to me when I started being able to do Reiki and just do hands of light therapy. It's just my hands just started tingling as if they were humongulous. I mean, I don't mean humongous, I mean humunculus. You can look it up. It's a medical depiction of the nerve endings in the body, and if our physical limbs or if our physical structures were as large in proportion to how many nerve endings that there are there, we'd have huge lips, we'd have huge genitalia, we'd have huge hands, because that's just how they feel the most. All right, this is the card. Oh, and it's a relationship week. Interesting. So in order to be spiritually healthy this week, it's all about our relationships. It seems a little bit contradictory that we are physically alone or physically in solitude or on our island, to think and to strategize and to plan. But spiritually, in order to be healthy, it's about relationship. And so it could be relationship with the divine. But it also could be strategizing and planning how to make your relationships healthier so that we're not as reactive, so that we're not just continuing the same old patterns as always, especially if you're looking to change your relationship or strengthen your relationship or any relationships. This could be business. This could be your friends. This could be your roommates. It could be your family members. I mean, we just had the holidays. Passover is just finishing, or we just had Easter, whatever, if you're celebrating anything, or if you're just with your family, spring break, what have you. I'll read the card. Your primary relationship is with yourself and God, and every other relationship follows from there. To attract, heal, or balance a relationship, then snuggle more closely with your loving Creator as you feel safe and loved within. So shall your other relationships bloom and prosper. So, I mean, we know that in order to love others and to be loved, then we have to love ourselves. And so that is a key takeaway this week in how to be spiritually fulfilled, is to connect and is to work on our relationship with ourselves, our self-talk. I just recorded a course. I just recorded the 4th module of my course, Healing with Food Energetics. And I was talking about, in that course, I was talking about the shoulds, how the shoulds that we say to ourselves, I should be doing that, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, based on arbitrary reasons, like what somebody told us when we were growing up, what somebody says on the news that we should be doing that. How do they know we should be doing? It actually blocks our intuition, and it blocks us from growing when we focus on what other people tell us we should be doing. And then we just treat ourselves like that, as if we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what's good for ourselves. When we're the ones who have the intuition about ourselves. We're the ones who want to develop the relationship with ourselves so we can understand what to do and what is best to do and what will procure the best health and the best results for ourselves. So I think that's a really great card, actually, and it's not contradictory to the solitude card at all, because it's really about spending time with ourselves and making sure, I'm good with me, right? Like, I'm good with me. So, and not to push anybody else away. It's not so that you're indignant and to be right. It's not that. It's to give yourself legs. Give yourself legs, the firm ground to stand on. So as I mentioned, we're going into Taurus, we're going into Earth, right? And so taking the planning and putting it in the ground so that we can grow, so that we can get abundance. So I hope this spread is good for you guys this week. I think it's a really cool spread. I think it's a really cool spread. So we started off with the thinker, plan, strategize, take things at face value. Went to solitude. You got to see the growth, even if it looks lonely and dark, but really there's good things happening. There's abundance and growth happening emotionally. And we have to see it, and we have to look at it like that and have good perspective. And we have to build our relationship with ourselves and with spirit, and that's how our relationships blossom with other people. So that's sweet. That's how to be healthy this week. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm Dr. Millie. I will put a link to my free Sunday hypnosis, happy hour hypnosis. If you'd like to register, please do. Or go ahead onto my website and check out any of my other offerings. I've got some courses. You can book an appointment with me. All that's possible, okay? Okay, thanks so much, guys. I love you. Bye. Have a great week.